All right, everyone. So before the Miles Turner trade, the Bucks were plus 6,000 to win the NBA championship. They are now plus 4,000 after getting Miles Turner and obviously trading or waiving Damian Lillard. So we're going to give an update here and just kind of look at the odds. Now, one thing I think you got to pull from this, right, and keep this in mind is that when we're talking about which teams could potentially win a championship, we have to count the West and the East differently because out of the East, right? You're going through the Eastern Conference. The West, you're only going to have to play one out West, right? The Eastern Conference team that wins, if they want to win a championship, will only have to beat one Western Conference team. So when people talked about how stacked up each conference is, I think a lot of people kind of make it seem like, well, the Eastern Conference and the West will play each other in the playoffs, which obviously is not the case, right? So when we're talking about playoff and championship odds, the fact that you get there and you have an easier path to get there goes a long way. Okay. So just keep that in mind. And so we're going to start by doing that. Let's see. We got one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Eight teams before the Bucks are from out west. Okay. Now let's go to the East. One, two, three, four teams from the East. So eight from the West, four from the East. So that's 12. They're the 13th team. And I guess if you count the Celtics in there because they're tied, right? But they're the 13th team, and eight of them are from the West. So I like a lot of what the Bucks are doing here, and I think once again, there's no lock on any of these things, but I actually do like the Bucks in here because when I look at all these teams, what do I see that this team has that all of these other teams up top here from the East don't have? They have a top 5 player in the NBA. The Sixers, they have Joel Embiid, but let's just be honest about it. He's been injured. That team should have been much better last year. And I know they dealt with a lot of injuries, but nobody expected to have the kind of fall off they had last year. So I just can't trust them. But all these other teams in the East, the Cavs, they have Donovan Mitchell. He's a phenomenal player. He's not Giannis, right? He's not Giannis. Um, you go down here to the Magic. The Magic are scrappy. They're young. They're tough. They did get better. They don't have a Giannis on their team, right? They don't have a Giannis type player on their team. So when I look at that from that perspective, the Knicks, how could I say, I forgot them. Jalen Brunson's really good. Carl Anthony Towns is really good. They have a lot of talent. Sorry, they fired their coach. I don't think either of them are on the level of Giannis. And it doesn't mean that because you have the best player, you're going to win the series. I'm just talking about in the NBA, that goes a long way and that gives you a chance. And when I see these type of odds that the Bucks have to potentially win a championship, if you could just get to the finals, which I think there's a good chance they can, I think that goes a long, long way. Um, Other teams I would look at, I guess we could just talk about a few of these other teams. I don't hate the Magic either. I don't hate the Sixers. I think that what I'm looking at up here, and I'll just be honest, these two teams, the two favorites, I don't have any trust in this time around. With the Cavs, I thought you had your chance last year, and you just weren't unable to get it done. That was your chance to make the finals, to get in there and potentially win a championship. I don't like a lot of what, in my opinion, and they're not going to be a bad team this year. I just don't know if they're the team I would pick. The Knicks, I think firing Thibodeau got rid of every chance that they had to do it. The Magic, I love the way they play the game of basketball. I think they're built really well. They added some talent this year. I don't hate them. I could see them upsetting the Knicks. I could see them upsetting the Cavs. I really can. And in a weaker East, that could go a long way. The Sixers, let's just be honest about the Sixers, right? If this team is healthy, if you have Maxey and you have Embiid, just those two alone, you have a chance, especially in a weaker East where a lot of the big stars, the Halliburtons, the Tatums, they're out of this thing. So if they're out of this thing, I like it. And the thing the Sixers have that the Bucks will not have this year is with let's say Embiid is 100% healthy, right? Well, you have Tyrese Maxey and Embiid. This is a one you have a true 1A and a true 1B. Maxey is a phenomenal player. The Bucks, they're going to be solely reliant on Giannis. I mean, you bring in Myles Turner, I get it. Right? They have Kyle Kuzma, I get it, but they don't have anyone the level of Tyrese Maxey playing next to Giannis. So I don't hate either of these two teams. I really, really don't. So that's kind of what we're looking at this year. We'll obviously keep you guys updated and keep doing some of these longer form videos on the betting odds. But I think the Bucks give you look, they move from plus 6,000 to plus 4,000. Think about the kind of value you're getting, in my opinion. And once again, there's no profit guaranteed, right? I'm just giving you my thoughts on this. But to me, to have the Bucks lined up with the Celtics in terms of championship odds, when you look at the Bucks, I think have built a roster that actually fits pretty well together. I don't know if they're going to be great defensively, but I think offensively they'll be able to do some things. I don't hate it. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.